Hey, what's up guys, Alex here. Thank you for checking this video and welcome to another vlog update, I guess. So it's been a while since I published the last vlog update, and it's also been a while since I've been really consistent in publishing videos, even tutorials on my channel. If you noticed, probably for the past month I uploaded just 3 or 4 videos, maybe, I guess even less. But I'm here to do this vlog to explain you the reason why I'm not publishing as much as I was doing before. Long story short, I changed my job. It was just something that came out of the blue. I wasn't expecting that, and I wasn't actually looking for another role or another occupation, and that happened. And it was a really hectic transition because the company that I started working with, it's a startup. So it's not a digital agency, it's a startup. So I want to explain you what's the difference between being a developer in a digital agency and being a developer in a startup, because even if you're still a developer and you pretty much do always the same thing, that it's coding, it's a completely different thing, and I kinda wasn't expecting that, so it's kind of interesting, I hope. Anyway, in a digital agency, I was working as a senior developer, and the agency I was working with, it's called Make Creative. I shared a lot of times blog posts or events of even websites that I built with them, and they're amazing. They're just like, I guess, one of the best like people I've ever worked with, like professional people, really like funny and gentle and like smart people and like really lovable guys. And just in whatever company you're working, like it's really important to have a good relationship with your coworkers, and they were kind of the best I've ever had in like 10 plus years of development. All the other companies like don't stand a chance compared to Make Creative. My role at Make Creative was the one of senior developer, so I was in charge of pretty much all the development strategies, all the manual work that we were doing to publish website, publish web applications, talking to the clients and all this kind of stuff. And that's pretty much what a developer does in a digital agency. You have a specific amount of clients. You have probably a lot of clients in the same time, like the same period, but you do clients' work. So there's an external entity that comes in your office and asks for something. That could be a website, a web app, or it could be like a digital strategy, whatever. But your role as a developer is, with the help of the rest of the office, of course, you're not alone, is to understand the client's needs and transform that, like manipulate those needs into a solid product, into something that he or she can relate to, into something that the client is happy with. And that's pretty much it. It's like a finite process. You start, you learn, you work, you deliver, and that's it. Most likely, except for different occasions when you have like a long-term relationship with a client, or you have like a ongoing contract with the client with maintenance and updates that can go on even for 5 years. We had those type of clients. Clients work in a digital agency is finite. So after you release a product, you don't have pretty much any control on that product. You're at the mercy of the client or the next digital agency, whatever is gonna happen. If someone is gonna take over and they're gonna like do updates or change stuff that you coded, and you don't have control on that. It's not your creator, it's not something like personal. It belongs to the client. And that's like the core of the digital agency type of work for a developer. In a startup, it's a completely different story because you don't have a client, you don't work with a client, you are not building something for someone else. The idea most likely is yours. You're building something for yourself, and the success of the thing that you're building, the web app, the native app, or the website, whatever you're building, it like involves a lot of different, more stressful factors, because if you fail with the product, you cannot maybe have a chat with the client and try to have a second phase to optimize what you failed, or like understand what was bad in the process and make it better next time. No, if you fail with your product, it's really dangerous, because that product basically, it's the one that lets you eat, lets you like make money and sustain your entire company. So you don't have a client, you are your own client, you don't have to answer to anyone, you can make your own decision, and after you release the product, you can own that product, you actually own that product, and you can do whatever you want pretty much. The problem with a startup is that you have investors, because the money in a startup don't come immediately. It's not that you release a website and you immediately monetize whatever you're doing. Most likely for the first 1, 2, maybe also 3 years, sometimes happens even more, you don't have any active income. So all your money, all the money that sustain your company are coming from investors. And investors are really demanding, because they can invest even up to like $10 million if your idea is really good. Like they can invest $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million. It depends on like what is your idea about and how extended it is. But those investors are expecting results, and they don't really care at the beginning of like what type of application are you going to release, or like what type of technology are you going to use, how scalable it is, how like well built it is. They just want to see the product. They just want to see the product released, that they want to see the product pushed. They want to see that you're actually doing some work, because they're investing money on something that doesn't exist right now. And they grasp the idea, maybe they like the idea, they love it, and they think it's really profitable. But if you don't show them constant updates, and you don't show them that you're constantly pushing the product forward, it gets really tricky. Like an investor could cut your flow of money like out of the blue if you don't meet their goal. So that's pretty much the difference. You have like the clients in a digital agency, and you have the investors in a startup. Investors, like dealing with investors can be even worse than a client. So that's kind of like how it is. Of course, I'm kind of like generalizing right now. It's not like always like that. It's like depends like case by case. In our case, or in my case right now, it's beautiful because we don't really depend on investors. I work now for a startup called Ritual Music. It's an e-commerce for original music produced by worldwide well-known producers. They're like amazing, talented people that they create custom music for you, for like content creators. That could be like a single person, like a family, or a digital agency, or like an advertisement agency, that they need to find the perfect song, the perfect track for their advertising platform, and they cannot find it online right now. So they come to us, they can access like a gigantic library of custom created music, or they can access, or they can talk directly to our producer, and we can do custom music for them. This is fantastic. It's like kind of a sweet spot, because you're a startup. It means that you have your own idea and you want to develop your product, you want to release your product, and you can do pretty much whatever you want after you release it. You can own the product. But also because you already have the content behind the product. The most important part of a product is the content. And the content is already helping us to monetize whatever we're doing. We don't really need investors. We are pretty much our own investors. And this is fantastic. It's like a pretty sweet situation that I'm not sure how long it's gonna last. Like probably could collapse in 2 minutes. No idea, but I'm super hyped and super stoked, and I can't wait to release the product. The launch date should be around January. We're not sure yet. A lot of work has to be done. We're building this web application in Laravel and AngularJS, and it's just like amazing. It's using the latest technologies, trying to push this amazing product, and I can't wait to show you guys how it's gonna be. Hopefully it's gonna be great, but I'm sure it's gonna be great. Anyway, it was kind of like a transition out of the blue. I wasn't looking for another job. That came out pretty naturally. Like, if you don't know me, I'm really like, I love music. I played in a group before. I had a music band. All the music that you hear below my videos are made by me, are original music. Like, I record by myself with like computer behind me. So I don't buy music. I'm a musician, and I've always been involved with music in every part of my life. And merging development and music together, being a developer in a music environment, is just incredible. Like, the office is so good. I'm gonna do a couple of vlogs like showing my day because it's really weird, my day. Like, I wake up, I go to work, I walk to go to work because it's pretty close. It's like 20 minutes away walking. And the office is basically a recording studio with a bunch of instruments. And the people I work with are like music geniuses. It's just like fantastic working with those people. And that's it. It's a pretty small company. It's a pretty small startup. And it's exciting. It's something that working in a startup, you don't really know what's gonna happen tomorrow, because it's kind of like cloudy. It's like you decide your own path. You don't have like a specific trajectory set by a client. You set your own trajectory, and that could be scary. Right now at Ritual, I'm a lead developer, and I'm doing also a little bit of design, and I'm doing also a little bit of project management. I'm doing a little bit of marketing as well. So that's pretty much what you could expect, that you have to expect if you start working in a startup. Especially at the beginning, a startup, you don't have a predefined role that it's set, and you don't like step into another role from time to time. In a startup, you have to be able to wear many different hats, because it's not just like, I'm gonna be a developer, I'm just gonna code the entire day and that's it. No, we are like few people, so we have to cover for many different roles, and that could be challenging, but that's also really exciting, because as you probably know me, I'm both designer and developer, and this is great. Like, being able to design the things that I'm gonna code, it's great. Like, you have full control of the entire process, and you approve your own coding, you approve your own designing, and it's just amazing. That could be tricky, because that means you don't have an external eye to judge your work, and you could go into the wrong path without even knowing. But that's the thing about startup, is just like releasing products and then releasing version 1, version 1.2, version 1.3, and I keep pushing the product, and you're gonna work on that product forever, or at least like longer than you've ever worked with something else or with a client. And that's really exciting. I'm really stoked, and that's it. Pretty much this video was to tell you why I haven't published videos for the past month, because working full-time on a completely new application, learning how this application works, and like suggesting solution and coding, designing, and managing all the tasks for also the other developers, is really challenging. So I don't really have the brain power to come back at night after like 10 hours of development and all the other crazy things, and doing something else on another scripting language, and just like doing tutorials on another software. It's really challenging, but I'm getting there. Like, my life is normalizing again. I was like really crazy, really high peaks of energy and efforts, and now I'm properly settling into this new position, into this new role. So most likely I will come back in a like regular weekly schedule, like 2 or 3 videos per week, with all the tutorials and all the updates about videos, technology, the nerd continuity. I can't wait to do another episode of the nerd continuity. There are so many news about technology, about development and design, and I want to talk to you guys. So that's pretty much it. Let me know. I'm curious about you, because what do you do? Like, do you work for a digital agency? Do you work for a startup? Or which one would you like to choose? Like, now that I explained you my point of view about a digital agency and a startup, like, which one would you like to work with? Like, are you more compelled by one than the other? Like, give me your explanation, and What's your experience about this? That would be really interesting to know, because I worked for startups in the past in Italy, and here in Vancouver, the situation is completely different. And I wasn't expecting that, but it's amazing. So, well, it's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching this video, and until the next tutorial, I guess, happy coding. But overall, like, be happy and help each other and enjoy your life, because that's the important thing. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I talk to you in the next one. Bye.